They say every woman hides a truth so deep, it only surfaces when she's ready to face herself. Mine revealed itself the night I realized my heart had quietly drifted somewhere it shouldn't have, toward someone it could never rightfully belong to. For almost a year, I had been with Ryan. He was the kind of man people described as good, dependable, thoughtful. A man who remembered anniversaries and made coffee just the way I liked it. He was the sort of love that promised stability, a life built on calm waters. And yet, beneath that serenity, something inside me stirred. A whisper I kept pushing away. Then there was Reeve, Ryan's best friend, the quiet one, the kind of man who didn't need to speak to be heard. His presence filled a room without effort. His eyes held that unsettling calm of someone who saw too much. The first time his gaze met mine, it wasn't polite or casual. It was intent, piercing. It felt like he could see past the practiced smiles and the version of myself I showed the world. I told myself it was nothing. Just a look. Just imagination. But the more I tried to dismiss it, the harder it was to forget. Each gathering, each casual conversation, carried a current neither of us acknowledged. The silence between us grew heavier, charged, until it said more than words ever could. Then came that night. Ryan had stopped by my apartment with Reeve in tow. We ordered takeout, played a movie in the background no one really watched. Halfway through, Ryan's phone rang. Work emergency. He laughed, clapped Reeve on the shoulder and said, "Don't let her get bored. I'll be back in an hour." He had no idea how much that single hour would change everything. For a while, we both tried to pretend. He scrolled through his phone. I stared at the screen, seeing nothing. The air felt different, thicker somehow, humming with something dangerous and unspoken. "I'll make some tea," I said, needing movement, distance, anything to break the tension. But moments later, I heard him behind me. Not close, just near enough to feel the gravity of his presence. When I lifted the kettle, my hand trembled. The cup tipped, spilling tea across the counter. "You okay?" His voice was low, careful. He stepped forward, taking my hand before I could pull away. The touch was simple, innocent even. But the moment his skin met mine, something inside me shifted. That single contact carried every word we hadn't said, every question, every forbidden thought. And I didn't move. My back brushed against the counter as he stayed there, inches away. The silence was deafening. I looked up. His eyes were already on me. Neither of us spoke. It felt like the world had narrowed to just that space between us. The breath, the pulse, the impossible. When his hand found my waist, it was tentative, deliberate. He gave me every chance to stop him. I didn't. I should have. But I didn't. When his lips brushed my neck, I closed my eyes. When his fingers grazed the edge of my shirt, I leaned closer. It wasn't a kiss. It wasn't what you could name or confess. But it was real. So real it made everything else in my life feel rehearsed. Like I'd been playing a part I no longer believed in. We didn't cross the line that night. Not fully. No clothes, no promises. But something far more fragile was lost. The quiet loyalty that had once held everything together. When Ryan came back, nothing looked different. We smiled, laughed, watched the rest of the movie. But inside, the ground had shifted. The next morning, there were no messages, no calls, just silence. And in that silence, I replayed every heartbeat, every breath of that moment until it blurred the edges of guilt and desire. I still loved Ryan, or maybe I loved the idea of him, the comfort he represented. But what I felt when Reeve looked at me, that was something else entirely. It wasn't safety, it was recognition. a mirror held up to the part of me I had buried for far too long. The days that followed were quiet. Reeve and I never spoke about it. Not a single word. But silence has a way of echoing, of turning small moments into obsessions. Each time I saw him beside Ryan, each time his eyes found mine for even a fraction of a second, it was there again. That pulse, that memory neither of us could unwrite. I told myself I should feel guilt, and maybe I did, but stronger than guilt was longing, the cruel ache of what almost was. Then one evening, Ryan invited him over again. The three of us sat together, laughter filling the space where the truth tried to hide. Ryan's voice carried on about work, sports, something trivial. I smiled when I was supposed to, but my heart raced for an entirely different reason. Across the room, Reeve's eyes found mine, and in that single look, everything we had buried came rushing back, wordless, dangerous, and impossibly alive.